Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the latest episode of Fly Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm Brent Bodkin, riding solo this week, so let's enjoy the ride. Main man Quasi, unfortunately, not able to make it tonight, but he'll be back next week for sure. So let's go. So we have two special guests coming on in the next. Well, one's coming on in about the next 10 to 12 minutes. The other one's coming on in about, I want to say, half an hour to 45 minutes. Two quarterbacks. So all the QB enthusiasts out there, stay tuned. Two legends of the game, two of the faces of FPF when it comes obviously to quarterback play and just winning in general. We'll get to those guests in just a few moments though. So let's hop to the action. Pardon me. Let's hop to the action is what I'm trying to say right away. So I have wrote some notes to myself. So I want to do something a little different today because I know usually we go division by division. I kind of want to avoid that. I'm doing it by myself, so it's a lot more work to go division by division. I'm gonna try to make sure no one's left out. Just bear with me here. So I'm gonna start just with men's in general. A couple of games I noticed. Obviously, I score keeping a lot of different places. So a couple of games I noticed that there was an instant classic last night, which we'll get into with one of my guests later on. But instant classic last night between Idaho Ute Pimps and Mango. Sorry, Idaho I the Pimps. Pardon me. I know that Division A is one team, Division B is another team. So in Division B, Idaho I the Pimps taking on Mangoose last night in Broussard. Had a chance to score keep that one. That was a phenomenal game. Went down to the wire. Had a chance on Friday to watch the Braves. Braves, two big games, two big victories. Back, kind of a, I don't want to say come from behind. One game they had to kind of come from behind, but they're both close games. The Braves knocking off one stop. Pardon me, Friday Friday night in Laval. That was a back and forth game. A lot of trash talking in that game. Again, I'm gonna get into that in a few moments with my first guest. There was a lot of funny comments made either side. I don't want to say who started the trash talking, but it was started one way, it was carried on the other way, went back and forth the entire game, play after play, score after score. That's one of the great things I personally love about FPF is just the rivalry games, and even teams that aren't rivalries. Like One Stop is making their debut right in Division A. They played Division B obviously before. It's the first year now with the big boys in Division A, and they did not let nothing slip when it came to the play, when it came to the trash talk. The Braves getting though a big W in that contest. The Braves also had another close victory over the weekend. So I'm just trying to find the game, and I apologize. I had it in my notes. I'm just trying to find the exact game. And speaking of here, for some reason, so the FEF said, I know a lot of you have tried to go on today, and it's kind of hasn't been the greatest all day long. Let me see if I can find it here. Before we went the air, it started to come back on, so it's moving smoothly now. So I'm gonna see. Anyways, the game that I was talking about was the Braves beating Idaho U the Pimps. I talked about Idaho Ida Pimps before, but now I'm talking about Idaho U the Pimps. So the Braves with a big victory last Tuesday night down in Mary Vic. So 36-34 victory there, and then a 34-26 victory over One Stop again in a game I score kept Friday in Laval. So two close W's for the Braves. Listen, they get the job done by hook or by crook, right? By blowout or by close games, they get the job done as always. And so congrats to the Braves again, getting two big victories. And so now the record improves to 7-0, right? So that's big for them. Let's look at the Braves schedule coming up next, who they have left on their docket. They have a game against the Party Crashers. So speaking of rivalry games, so the Party Crashers and the Braves do battle next Sunday. No, sorry, this Sunday, pardon me, July 20th. And then they finish with the Infantry. So it'll be Kevin Wyeth against Joe Maheu. Obviously, that'll be next Friday, the 25th, and then final game in the regular season. So it'll be Jeff Rosenblatt and the boys with the Jamesons going on to take on the Braves. So will the Braves finish undefeated? We'll have to wait and see, right? 7-0, looking to finish 10-0. So Division B. So one thing I noticed with Division B, right, is Brady Hennessy, and he played like I said last night, so he was a big part of his victory. His team's win, pardon me, over Mangoose, but he wasn't there on Sunday. So they had a big victory. Pardon me. They had a replacement quarterback. So Ashton Tebow. A lot of you guys know him as a receiver, as defensive back. Let's talk a little trash too, but phenomenal player, stand up dude, a phenomenal player. He played a big role though in his team's victory this past Sunday at Concordia, where they beat, I believe it was Shake and Bake. I believe it was like the last play of the game. Pretty much Ashton kind of threw a bit of a Hail Mary there, got caught in the end zone, and got ran in. So no Brady, no problem for you to hold either Pimps. So it's moving along. So a couple other big games that stood out. The commission. So again, my team. So I called my team out last week, right? And we responded in a big way. I'm proud of my team. I can honestly say that. We took on Speed Academy Monday night, pardon me, at Mary Vic. So coming into that game, Speed Academy again, a dangerous team and an explosive offense, one of the top offenses in Division C. Looking at it right here, so just looking at them, so the Speed Academy, so coming into the game, they averaged. I'm just gonna do some quick math here, so just bear with me. It's not my strong point, but okay, so 252 points, so 252, and I want to divide that by 7 games. So they came in Speed Academy averaging 36 points a game. My team, our defense held them to 19. We ended up getting the W over Speed Academy by a score of 34 to 19. I can't lie, we had a couple of subs in our game. We're battling a bit of injuries on my team right now. We had a couple of subs. Justin Weir came in at quarterback. A usual TC member, Hakeem Casby Filiacho, usually plays for our team. This year, he only wanted to play on one team, so he's playing with Mangoose in Division 2. He had a big play last night and getting that loss. But he came out. Rob White, so usually a referee in our league now. He's been playing for like a zillion years, even longer than me. He ended up subbing in and playing. So a big team W. So I'm proud of my guys. Let's keep it up. Obviously, we have a big game coming up tomorrow night against All Blacks in Laval. So if you're in the Laval area, come check it out. Speed Academy, though, was able to bounce back in a game that I scored kept. I was really impressed last night with Speed Academy's effort. They knocked off first place Les Petits Carrot 44 to 38 in that contest. Charles Vero and the boys just really like kind of putting their team on their shoulders, and they had a couple of subs as well. They were missing some guys. I know Julien Prou, who played against us Monday, wasn't in the lineup. I'll have a couple of the guys, but yeah, Charles Vero, Maxime Brisset, and of course Felix Derry Bernard, the guy we talked about, probably receiver of the year in Division C. They balled out again. Vero 4 T's in the contest, so he made a huge effort. A couple of the things just to talk about just in general. Sophomore Excel. Pardon me, actually not sophomore Excel. Sorry, I'm jumping around here. So we did A, B, and C here. So I wanna keep it a little different this week. So I want to jump over to the ladies right now, right? So looking at the ladies, so I'm gonna go Division A actually right now. So again, right now we are in the middle of week 9. So let's go back to week 8 there for a second. So obviously this past Sunday, Cayenne knocked off Blue Pond, and Ice Cold blew out like Crocs 43-12, which was great. And it was this past Monday, right? So like, well, now it's about 2 days ago. So a 20-20 tie between Blue Pond and the Monarchs. So that's a bit of a shocker right there. So both teams get a much needed point, right? But again, getting a tie, it's kind of like a loss almost. But I mean, it is what it is. All the points count, right? We have a big matchup this Sunday. We talked a bit about it last week, right? Cayenne taking on Sub-Zero. Obviously, we all know a lot of the names on both sides. Of course, the headline, of course, in football and in any shape of football, especially FPF, is the battle of quarterbacks. So, of course, I'm talking about Sandrine Gobehuat and obviously Sarah Parker. So those two will be going head to head, and that what should be a really good matchup. Again, that's taking place. It's going to be this coming Sunday, 10 a.m. actually at Con U. So I'll be there. I won't be on that field to scorekeep that game, but I will be scorekeeping. So I'll make sure to check that game out every chance I get. Actually, to be on the field right next to me, so I'll be watching that game for sure. Speaking of which, obviously, so Concordia. Actually, no, I'll say that for a little later. So yeah, just looking at some of the other divisions here before we let in our first guest. Our first guest is supposed to be coming on in the next 2 to 3 minutes. I see he's already in the waiting room, so he's waiting to come on. So 2 minutes time, sir. We will have you on the show. Thank you again for coming in. Big surprise guest. We have a Hall of Famer coming in, so that's going to be big. So yeah, so just looking at it right now. So women's B, let's hop over there quickly, right? So looking at the schedule here, pardon me, women's C actually, sorry. So women's C, so we have She Sparks. So She Sparks, they beat down Humble 34 nothing this past week. For She Sparks, now that's a team that was early in the season. They have their third W now. It's their third W and second in a row. So they won 2 out of the last 3 games. So congrats to the ladies from She Sparks. Let's see if they can keep up their winning ways as they take on Turf Titans coming up this Saturday. Actually, I'll be scorekeeping. Actually, I won't be scorekeeping that game. My apologies. This Saturday, 10 a.m. at Con U. So it should be a good game. Although with people going on vacation all lately, maybe I'll end up scorekeeping that game. You never know. All right, so quickly, just want to go to women's B. So my apologies. I meant to go to B. I ended up going to C instead. So women's B here. So looking at the schedule right now, this upcoming games that you should really be paying attention to in Women's B. So we have taking place again. So two games this Saturday. Les ETS Sturgeon against Hibu. Wolfpack against Chaos. So those are the Saturday games, both right at 9 a.m., both right at Connu. And then this coming Sunday, Supernova against Dream Killers. I'm really looking forward to that game, Dream Killers and Supernova. A lot of athletic ladies on both sides. I had a chance to scorekeep a number of their games this season. So that should be a top-notch game. Only one game week 10 and one game week 11. Week 10 is going to be Supernova against Chaos, so that should be a highly competitive game. And then the close of the regular season, lays ETS Sturgeon taking on Chaos. So that's the women's action for you. Again, make sure you tune in. A lot of great ball coming up for the ladies. But now we have a special guest coming on. All right, so it is the one, the only, the quarterback, the leader of the Braves, Joe Maheu. Thank you, sir, for coming on.
Thanks for
14-time
having me, guys.
All-Star. Yep, 14-time All-Star, 11-time champion. Uh, so let me ask you, Joe, again, thanks for coming on. Regular season is coming to a close pretty soon, right? We're kind of in the home stretch of the regular season. What has been your impression so far of the spring season?
I think on in 5v5 there's a few new faces, new teams that are jumping in the top division. It was fun to see some new guys and new teams. Obviously, I still think it comes down to like the big four teams that are ruling the category, but it's still very nice to see the 5-on-5 evolves and new teams joining the party. So yeah, so no, so far so good, but it looks like pretty much like the same story from the last season. Like that's the same teams are on top, and this should be the same type of battle, I guess.
Okay. And let me ask you, so as a quarterback in the 5v5, obviously you have the 7 seconds to throw the ball unless someone snaps into a player right behind you and then a player tosses it back to you. So that cancels the for lack of a better term, shot clock. What are some of the other challenges that you face or that you've noticed in the 5v5 versus the 6-on-6?
Um, of course, the transition from 4 down to 10 yards and like going half of the field, like it is a challenge for the new teams that are coming in. Like you cannot just throw some short passes all the times and just expect to like with 3 yards hook or 4 yard hooks and get a first down. You need to get longer plays and the field is more narrow, so you have to like your routes need to be more on point and timing is key. So yeah, I think the new teams that's where they struggle because 6-on-6 like, you can take your time. You can throw some like triple slants and like just gain 3 4 yards. It's not a problem. But on 5-on-5, like a gain of 3 yards on 5v5, it's not good, right? So that's the main difference. And so yeah. So.
Okay, and as a quarterback, obviously someone with a lot of experience as yourself, and is throwing a ton of touchdowns, played in a million games, both in FPF and outside of FPF. Well, at this stage of your career, which game do you prefer, 5v5 or 6v6?
Definitely 5v5. It's a good thing also that in D1 is 6-on-6 went to 4 down to midfield because it was getting a bit boring. And even if I'm an offensive guy, it's really painful to see the defense trying desperately to make a stop and not being able to find an answer against players like Kevin Wyatt or Alex Nadapius that has like they control their playbook. They know how not to make a mistake and like when you have 4 down to reach 10 yards it's too easy for them. So I'm glad that even the 6v6 like it's going now for 4 down to midfield. And yeah, it's more fun.
Okay, okay. I had a conversation with Jeff just before the winter playoffs started, and he was talking to me about just he likes to kind of defer to some of the veteran players and obviously the higher division players like yourself to get ideas about maybe rule changes or format changes. What's something that maybe obviously and we talked about right with like you said Division 1 now going this past year to four downs to midfield and that instead of having a first down every 10 yards. What's maybe another change you would like to see implemented in FPF, whether it's 6v6 or 5v5?
Oh, that's a good one. I think right now playing a very nice style of flag. Like I like the fact that we're playing very close to the international rules, but we're still adding a few new type of rules like the onside kick. I kind of like that rule, even though it's not officially like the international rules. I think it brings something more, and it gives the teams that are trailing more hope, even when they play against some stronger team. So like to answer your question, I'm not really sure what I would say. I feel like right now, even 6 on 6, it's pretty good, the set of rules that we have. Sorry for not having a better answer, but the way I look at it right now in 5v5, we're playing exactly what we should be playing. Plus, we get some specials like onside kick, which I think it's interesting to see.
I've asked this question to a lot of players over the years since we implemented the onside kick. So I definitely want to get your answer on this. I'm in favor. Like I like having one onside kick. I honestly think, listen, if you keep your timeouts, maybe you should have two. Like, what's your opinion on the onside kick? Should there be more, or do you like just having one?
Um, I think one is correct. I think the fact that like having two would be a bit too many. Like stronger team could like have three position in a row. That may be a bit too intense. But I like the fact that you get one, so you can stumble during a game. Like you can have a bad start and still rely on your onside kick. So I think no, I think one is enough, and yeah, no, I think it's a good addition to the set of rules.
Okay, okay. Um, you mentioned before about some of your counterparts like Kevin Wyeth, obviously Alex Nadeau-Puig. Last week we had Dan Lazera on the show. Guys like Jesse Dupuis, guys you played against for a long time, Fred Dupuis.
Yep.
Um, Usually in most conversations, I've written a ton of articles about you. At one point, like I've had you picked as the best quarterback in FPF. There's always that kind of debate between guys side with you or guys side with Kevin Wyeth. I want to get your honest opinion and don't be humble. Like, do you think right now you're the best quarterback in FPF?
Um, this is always a tough one for me because I think I'm surrounded by probably the best cast of like receivers and DBs in the league. I like our team is really strong. Right now, I think like they make me shine a bit more. Um, but yeah, if we're talking about the goat, obviously you need to look at Kevin Wyatt accomplishments, the number of championship he has. Like right now, I'm not there, right? So, but if you look at the last couple years and the past 5 years, I think the matchups between me and Kev, it's pretty nice to see. It's probably 50-50, and it's a huge battle. So, like again, I think the goat debate is really easy. Like somebody asked me the question last time, and it's really easy for me to answer that it's still Kev. But yeah, it's right now. I think I have a very strong squad, and they make me look good sometimes. So yeah, I think that's to my advantage right now. The quality of the players surrounding me.
Okay, okay. Again, so I think we could all agree Kevin is the goal. I'm just talking again. I'm talking about right now, currently right now, best quarterback in FPF. Some people think it's you. I'm not going to disagree. So I'm saying, okay, taking a bit of a humble approach. Fair enough. So okay, so let's talk about your team, the Braves, right? So I mean, you guys have been doing it since 2017. It's been a while. You guys have won pretty much every division you've gone to, both in FPF and outside of FPF. You guys dominate tournaments all over the place. What makes you guys so good?
Um, consistency, and the way we run our team. Like the group of leader stayed pretty much the same across the years. We changed a few pieces here and there, but it's still the same leaders. It's still the same way of thinking. Like we're there to have fun, but we're also there to compete, and like we never forget the fact that we're there to have fun. So at the end of the day, I think it's a key part of where when we recruit, we want to make sure that we're like people we're recruiting with will fit with our mindset. And I think we had some guys like me and Mike been handling that team. JD came really quick when we joined Flag Plus. He was there. So and since then, I think we like every guy that joined our team, they fit that mindset to have fun. It's a big family, and I think everybody loves to play with us. It's not stressful. It's always fun, and we know the game. We've been there, and we've played so many games, and we've done so many different tournaments that I think it's beneficial for new players also to join our team. I think every players that have joined us, and even some have left us, but I think they left us as a better player because we still provide a good like core and good mindset around the flag football. So no, I think consistency and like the way we're doing things, and the fact that we're playing there to have fun. So I think I wouldn't say anything else in this.
Okay, okay. And looking at your team, right? So you speaking to some of the guys you've added over the last few years, obviously guys like Isaiah Lard, Gabriel Charles, Champagne, and Emile Chateauvert. So you have guys with like different shapes, different sizes, and different skill sets. How much does versatility play a factor when you're looking at different guys you're adding to your team?
Yeah, you're right. The past couple years, we've been adding players a bit also based on our needs because the flag football leagues, the flag football world, and that league, Flag Plus, is getting stronger every year, right? If you want to compete, like you need to fix your team needs. And obviously, we were always a small but fast team. Like, but at some point, like there's so many athletes in this league, you need to be a bit taller. You need to have some more range to defend. Like even when you go red zone, like you need taller guys, you need more athletic guys, and we had a lot of very good players, but we were a bit small. So so yeah, we recruited a few guys, and obviously playing against Isaiah Allard, I wanted him on my team and not against me because he's really a pain in the ass to play against. So and he obviously he fit our strategy, our mindset too, because he's the guy. He's there to have fun. So that's a perfect fit with us, and so we got him, and you spoke about Gab Dabe. It was a natural fit for us. That guy is a tremendous athlete, one of the best in the league. He can jump with anybody. He can run with anybody. He can play offense, can play defense, and he has the same mindset than us. He's there to have fun. He can have a beer after a game or maybe two. And so no, it was a perfect fit. So yeah, no, it's. I think we've been doing some great moves in the past couple of years, and it's showing on the field again. Consistency is key, and we're still up there all the time. So.
Okay, okay. And as someone that's won, again, you're an 11-time champion, right? So in 5v5, 6v6, um, what stays with you longer, the wins or the losses?
What takes longer?
Like no, so what stays with you longer? Like what do you remember more? Like the big wins or like those heartbreaking like tough losses?
I no, definitely the losses. Like it's always fun to win, but like the losses, this is the one you remember the most. And I think this would make great players. Like you learn when you lose, and like definitely you remember and you try to make things differently and adjust and make sure this doesn't happen again. But I think I can remember more the tough losses, and I have a few in mind, especially that one in the national championship at Halifax that we lost, and that cost us a lot. So yeah, I would definitely say I remember more the tough losses instead of the big wins.
Okay. So speaking of national championships, obviously they have it in Montreal just a few weeks ago. The men's senior flag football national championships. Obviously, the Braves, two different Braves teams going up there. What was the experience like for you?
It was fun. It was fun. The goal for us was just again to give some more playing time to all these guys. Like all our guys are legit wide receivers. Right? Everybody can play offense, and they all want to play offense. So the fact that this tournament was not giving any like more like prize outside of the cash prize. There was no you'll represent Team Canada if you win that national championship. So that made that tournament more as an experience for us just to have fun, and we wanted to give some more playing times to a few guys that deserved it to play more on offense. Guys like Gab Dabe, like again, like if we're playing our top team, like he's probably helping us more on defense, but he's a tremendous wide receiver too. So now the fact that we're splitting up, he can play on offense, and Guillaume Belin can play on offense too. So he had a shot on offense when we splitted our team, and even like giving some reps to Will Trottier, who's quickly becoming like one of the top quarterbacks in this league at a very young age. So I think it was fun for everyone. Everyone enjoyed playing. Obviously, the goal was to meet in the final. It didn't happen. We went very close of achieving it, but yeah, we had kind of an older team and a younger team, and the younger team won and all. So it's all good as long as the Braves team is winning. Everybody was happy, but yeah, I think we were one bad call away from winning that semifinals against Montreal Magic, and
Okay.
but anyway, it's part of the game, and no, it was fun all the way.
Okay. So obviously outside of FPF, right? Like you talked about playing in tournaments and that. Joliet football as well. I believe you're a part of that, right?
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. Okay, so just talk about that for a second. Like, where'd you get the idea to kind of to get involved in that, and how's the growth been so far, in your opinion?
Um, yeah, we started Flag Joliet probably 6 7 years ago right now, and like we were playing like Flag Plus and Terrebonne, and I just told myself like it's so fun to play that style of flag football, and we had an indoor complex here close in Joliet, so we just decided to start the same thing, and looks like we're doing a good job because we're growing every year, and it's all fun. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So for people looking to join Joliet football, but how can they get in touch with you? How can they contact
Yeah,
get in touch with the league?
mostly people playing with us are more regional people. Like they're playing here there because it's too far from other big leagues like Flag Plus. So, but yeah, anybody can get in touch with me. But still, I'm still playing Flag Plus because it's at the highest level of flag football. So,
Yeah.
like we need to give a shout out to that league because
Mhm.
it's getting even bigger every year, and the caliber of this league is insane, right? We see it when we do these national championship, and like the top four teams in the semifinals are all players playing in Flag Plus. So it's yeah, it's always fun to play there.
And in your opinion, Nick, why do you think the FPF is getting so big?
This I like it's the I don't know how to say that, but it's the this is the go-to league, right? You want to have the best of the best. Yeah, you go there, and like even the way they run the league, it's the best of the best. Like we're having this podcast, and nobody else offering that, and probably any sports here in Quebec. I don't see any hockey league with a podcast, or maybe there's some, but I don't know them. But like it's everything is so on point. They are they are the top league. So yeah, this is amazing, and it's making everybody that is playing there better. So, and we see it when we go and playing against other province. It's easy to see.
Okay, okay. So stepping away from football for a second, so getting to know you as a person, what do you like to do on an off day? Like, what do you do when you're not playing ball?
I don't do a lot outside of this. I'm a big sports fan. I like to do sports. I like to do outdoor sports.
Okay.
Like I have 3 kids, and I'm running a league, and I'm playing like in 2 other teams flag football. So lately, I also been coaching University of Trois-Rivières. So like it's been 2 or 3 years ago, but like most of my life right now is based around flag football, and I like it. And yeah, all my best friends are also playing the game, so it's just a natural fit for me. But yeah, I still like to do some other outdoor sports. I like to hike. I like to spend some time with my girlfriend doing these things. But it's just yeah, right now a lot is around flag football.
Okay, okay. It's going to tackle for a second. Did you play tackle growing up? And
Yeah.
who's your favorite NFL team? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played tackle starting in junior football. I played junior football when I was like 19, 20, 21, 22
Okay.
with Joliet. we're not that good, and actually, I think it. I don't think I was a good quarterback at that time, and I think I've learned a lot playing with these teams. I also played senior football for probably 10 years after that, so I stopped playing tackle football at 32 or something, and then I just switched to flag. And it was funny because I started with flags when I was in like high school, and after that I switched to tackle, and I didn't want to know anything about flag. I thought flag was not like football was the real deal, and I thought to myself the real athletes were there. And when I came to Flag Plus, I just see that like well, there's some real athletes there, and this is a really high caliber of football, even though it's flag football. But and right now I'm sold. I'm a flag football guy, and yeah, I'm hoping my kids play flag football at some point, and maybe not tackle football. So yeah, so no, I've been doing both in my life, and but right now it's definitely a flag football guy. To answer your second question, my favorite team. I'm happy you asked that question now, because if you have asked me like 2 years ago, I would have been a bit shy of telling you. But right now, I've been all my life a fans of the Washington Commanders with Redskins,
Okay.
the Redskins before that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
obviously, last year was probably the first year since I'm a fan that I've been enjoying the season, and I think the
Yep,
future looks bright.
yep.
So yeah, it's really fun to see Jaden Daniels play. He's a flag football guy too. His basics are coming from flag football, so it's going to be interesting also if he's going to be in the mix for the Olympic. But yeah, it's even more enjoyable to cheer for that team now. So really fun.
Okay, okay. Do you think you guys are going to take the NFC East this year?
Yeah, it is. I hope so. If I think with my mind, I think it's going to be tough because the Eagles are really strong. And I
Mhm.
think like sophomore year for a sophomore slump. I don't want to say slump because I don't want to jinx him, but I think Jaden Daniels might face some tougher tests because
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
teams will know a bit more about him, and they will probably game plan a bit better. So I hope they can take the division as long as they stay on top of the Cowboys, and Mike Yassin cannot trash talk about that. I'll be happy. So as long as they're above the Cowboys at the end of the year, I'll be happy.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring up Mike being a Cowboys fan and always talking.
I don't want
Fair
to.
enough.
I don't want to hear Mike talking. He's always talking too much.
Okay, so you know what? So I mentioned it before you came on. I score. I talked to you, and obviously I score kept your game on Friday against One Stop. A lot of trash talking back and forth between you guys and between then. Obviously, Mike was a part of some of it. When teams talk trash to you, and we've seen it all through Division A, Division One, what does that do to you personally?
To me, it doesn't mean any. To be honest, like people can trash talk the way they want. It's just fun. To me, it's just fun, and it's like it brings something else when people are trash talking. I don't take it personally, and I understand where it came from, right? These guys, like One Stop, they're all new guys to flag football, or maybe
Mhm.
they've been playing, but in lower division. I don't know them, but and now they're playing against us, and they're feeling like they're playing against like Team Canada guys, and they're in the game, and they want to, and they're gonna on the edge, and they're trash talking a bit. I think they might have started it, but I don't know. But it's all fun to me. It's nothing personal. It don't bring me out of my game. It's just I don't mind. There's one or two people in the league I hate because they trash talk way too much, and it's just never ending. But at the end of the day, like that kind of trash talk we saw with One Stop, I think it was just fun. And at the end of the day, everybody shakes hands, and it's nothing personal, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Do you want to give us some info? Who these guys that you hate, or you don't want to comment?
No, I don't want to say I hate anybody. I don't hate anybody, but I think some people talk a bit too much in this league.
Okay.
Maybe a guy like AJ Gomes speak a bit too much and talk always talking. But but anyway, I still appreciate the fact that like this game is emotional, and like at the end of the day, we're just there to have fun, and like as long as we can shake hands at the end and forget about it, I'm all good with the trash talk. I don't mind.
Okay, okay. Just a couple more minutes before we get you out of here. You mentioned Team Canada. Obviously, they announced their roster to the surprise of many, myself included. I'm sure yourself as well. You weren't included on the roster. So it's been out for a few weeks now. I have to imagine that it stung at the time. How are you feeling now? And does that give you any extra motivation going forward?
Um, I to be really honest, I'm really not shocked, and I was like, I kind of agree with what they've done. Like I know right now, if you want like a quarterback to win now, this might look shocking, but like it's a 3 year project, right? They want to build something for the Olympics. If I was the coach, I would not build on me. Like I'm a 40 years old quarterback. I'm not the future, and I'm not the guy you want to bring to the Olympics. There are some better skilled player in this, even like in this country, and obviously in this country, but even in this league, that you can take as a three-year project. And this is what they've done. Like as a quarterback, they took Michael Connors, who is a great project. The guy has a like ridiculous arm talent, and if he can learn flag and looks like he's doing great because he's already beat the United States. I think they're doing the right things. And to be honest, like I've looked at the selection. And I would not be that far. If I would be picking Team Canada's roster right now, that would be really, really close of what I would be picking. There's few players that I think that have been missed. That I think like guy like Gab Dabe Champagne, I'm sure it could be a fit on that roster. I think Jay Murphy did not make the selection, but obviously could be a great add on offense. Like there's so Jay Murphy needs to be on that offense, and Gab needs to be on that team too. But most of the lineup for the rest, I think it's really good. And as a quarterback, like obviously I would have liked to be there, but I'm just getting too old, and that's fine by me. So I think they did a good job, and even on the women's team, I think they have pretty much nailed the lineup. So I think we're in good hands. Two coaches doing a good job right now.
All right, so and obviously with some of your teammates making the team, I mean, it's pretty safe to assume you'll be cheering Team Canada come 2028. Um, Looking at your stats, man, nearly 48,000 yards, almost 1,200 touchdowns. What's left for you to do?
Having fun. There's like I'm just happy to be there, going to the field, having fun with the guys, and I'm happy to like see the young guys evolve on our team. That's the fun part of it. It's like seeing guys like again I spoke about him a bit earlier, but Will Tracy is I think he's quickly becoming one of the best quarterback, and I'm not going to say it's because of me, but it's probably because he played with our team, and he was a key part of our team in the last 3 years. But the fact that he was with us
Mhm.
during all this time and learning, I think it's fun to see this guy grow and now winning the national championship. He's only 24. Ridiculous arm talent. I think it's a shame that he didn't have a shot at athletes showing his skills as a quarterback, because if it's a 3 year project, this guy can be there in 3 years. So, but there's going to be some other guy too. I know Joe Senecal was there at the national championship, and,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of
Mhm.
other players will try to go there. But it's fun to play with younger players on our team and see them evolve and have a shot at Team Canada. That's all we can do right now for old guys like me and Mike. It's just like helping the young guys shine, and that's all we do. So all good.
Okay. And final question I want to ask you. So, a lot of players watch this podcast, a lot of quarterbacks watch this podcast, and you've seen obviously FPF, right? When you first started in 2017 compared to now. Again, we have Division E, Division F, there's Women's C now. There's every season or two seems like there's a new division added and there's new players. What advice would you give to not just young players, but in particular young quarterbacks who are entering the league and trying to find their footing and obviously look up to you as the standard of quarterback here in FPF?
What kind of new advice could I give? Surround yourself with good players that have the right mindset. That should be first. Try to find the key pieces. I had the chance to play with some awesome wide receivers, and they're saving you more than you save them. It's a partnership, right? You get some good wide receiver, and they help you, and you help them shine. So it's a surround you with the right cast, and after that, I would say keep it simple. You don't need 40 plays. You don't even need 20 plays. To be honest, like the guys that play with us, they could tell you, like we're probably playing the game with 6 to 10 plays, and we're flipping them from one side to the other, and it's always the same concept. Sometimes you run them in trips, but you run them in on balanced formation when you play 6-6 or whatever. But it's the same concept. You apply it differently, but keep it simple. That's the key, because you don't practice. Obviously, if you have time to practice, then you can run a bigger playbook. But just keep it simple. Run the plays and make sure you master the playbook you have, the 10 plays you have, and like Kevin Wyatt could tell you the same thing, right? He's been like killing other teams with 1 or 2 plays, like that triple slant. It's no stopping him with this. So masterize your 2 or 3, 4 good plays that you like, and that's gonna do it.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. That makes sense. I'm not gonna lie. Every quarterback that I've talked to said the same thing. Keep the playbook small.
Yeah.
But you see some of these lower divisions, you see like a big play sheet with like 10 or 20 plays on both sides, and keep it small, keep it simple, and that's how you get effective. Um, all right, so listen, I just want to say thank you for coming on. It was an honor for mine to interview you. Haven't had a chance to really get to know you that well, but I've called some of your games and I've seen you, and obviously I've written about you a ton. So thank you again for giving us some time and coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It was the first time, so it's much appreciated, and like the league, and yeah, keep up doing the good job. It's really nice to listen to that podcast. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. Be good.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, big thanks to Joe Maheu for coming on again. That's the 14-time All-Star, 11-time champion, uh, arguably the best quarterback. Bless you, Ali Reza. Arguably, pardon me, the best quarterback here and FPF. Thrilled to have him on. So obviously dropping some knowledge to not just the quarterbacks, but the players all throughout FPF, both male and female, on how to build a team and the right approach to building a team, and obviously winning championships as he's done a lot of here in FPF and elsewhere. All right, so we have another guest coming on in about a minute or two. Another quarterback. So it's a quarterback flavor, I guess you could say, is this episode is the theme of this episode, I guess you could say. Just waiting for him to pop on my screen before I drop the name. So quickly we'll go to 5v5. So in a competitive, no regard ECW big game coming up this week for those two teams. Sooners 45, 0-8 right now, looking for the first W of the season. They're taking on the Party Crashers. That game is going to be taking place. So let's have to double check here. It'll be taking place, if I'm not mistaken, this weekend. Let me double check that here. It is taking place, this Sunday. So this Sunday at 7 p.m. in Laval. Sooners 45 again, looking for this first W of the season, taking on the Party Crashers. So that's gonna be a big game again. Easy Sooners 45, 0-8. Their last chance if they don't win this Sunday is the final day of the regular season. That'll be August 3rd as they take on ECW. That'll also be taking place at the field outdoors there in Laval. So I don't see our guests coming up just yet. So let me hop over here. Yeah, to 5v5 intermediate here. So 5v5 intermediate. Look at the schedule here. So this Sunday, the final game of week 8. So pardon me. Uh, Montreal Mavericks and FC Bing. So I'm looking at this schedule right now. That was not played this past Sunday. My apologies. This Saturday and Sunday, there's one game each. So Saturday is Les Giants, Les Giants taking on Montreal Mavericks. That'll be at Con U. So that'll be Saturday morning. So I'll have a chance to check that game out. It'll be on Field 3. And then Sunday night, 6 p.m., it will be Five Guys taking on FC Bing. So that'll be the final 2 games of week 9. Of course, there's going to be games week 10, week 11. So FC Bing, again, another winless team. They're 0-6 right now, looking for their first W of the season. They're coming off of a 60-0 shellacking at the hands of Les Giants. I just want to make sure. I'm pretty sure it's a forfeit. No, it was not a forfeit, actually. That game was just shellacking, a beatdown. So Les Giants, again, dropping 60, led by Marc-Andre Reeves, obviously 9 TDs in that game. Gat Couture, 3 TDs. Marvin Renault, 3 TDs. So, again, a blowout of FC Bing. So, let's see if FC Bing can bounce back and, again, get their first W of the campaign. So going ahead here, so again, our guest is still not here yet, unfortunately. I know the invite was sent, so we'll have to see what happens. I'm just gonna check to make sure everything's okay. Did I get a message from this individual? Okay, actually, I just got a text from him now. Okay, so unfortunately, our guest is not going to be on. I just actually got a text message from him while I was doing the interview with Joe Maheu. So I'll leave as a scratch that. Okay, so it's just going to be me and the camera for the next, I don't know, let's say about 15, 20 minutes. So it's all right. It's not a problem. So moving on here. So again, so we did 5v5. That's done. Women's is done. We've done most of the men's division so far and 6-on-6. So since we have a little bit of unplanned time here, let me jump into this real quick here. So I went down, I did A, B, and C. So I didn't want to do a whole division by division rundown, but again, have to adjust on the fly here. So let's check out Division D then. So Division D, what do we got here? So we have this coming week, it is officially week 9. So a couple games left for week 9 here. So let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So Sunday we have Fumble Factory taking on Stillin and Short, Brother Man against the Mighty Ducks, Uncle Rico's Riders against the Super Turbo Naves. That's going to be Sunday morning. Actually, on the field, I'm scorekeeping at Loyola. So I'm actually looking forward to that game. I know a couple of the guys off the Rico Riders, and I've seen the Super Turbo, the Super Turbo Naves. Pardon me, I'm talking too fast here. I've seen them play a couple of times, so they're definitely a good team. So two veteran teams going head to head should be an interesting showdown. Practice Squad 3 going against the Super Troopers. So the Super Troopers, Kenny Batouye, buddy of mine, and he plays on my team for a number of years. He's out due to injury right now. He has an upper body injury, so he's a little banged up. So Gab Wiseman actually has been filling in for Kenny Batouye, the regular quarterback and defensive play caller for the Super Troopers. And so far, so good. Gab Wiseman's led into a victory over the aforementioned Les Super Tovo Navets. That was this past Sunday at Loyola. And then yesterday night in Brassard, where I was scorekeeping, a real tight one, 27-26 Super Troopers victory over Nut and Run. As the game went back and forth, Gab had some throws. A lot of big. I hadn't seen Nut and Run play that often. I'm not going to lie to you, but Gab Wiseman, big game, 4 TDs in that contest. His counterpart, Nicholas uh, Caterlos, pardon me. I've seen him play a couple times. Usually wears an RG3 jersey, 4 TD passes, 2 INTs. He's a playmaker, though. He's a playmaker. So both quarterbacks were dueling right there. 1 point victory again for the Super Troopers in that contest. Kind of a tale of two halves, 14-8 lead for Super Troopers at the half, and then Nut and Run outscore Super Troopers 18-13 in the second half of that contest. So again, a real exciting game, but again, a big victory for the Super Troopers winning that one. And congrats to them. So what they did actually, they gave up a 40-yard touchdown from Caterlios, pardon me, to Guillaume Lasnier for a 40-yard TD, which pulled Nut and Run to within one. Super Troopers got the ball back, and what the Wiseman do, he put the ball downfield, little dink and dunk here and there. He gave up a sack at the end, had an 8-yard run to kill the clock. Smart play by him, veteran player, veteran quarterback. So that's a big addition again. Gab Wiseman playing for the Super Troopers. Just looking at the remainder of the schedule here for Division D for this week. So then we have again, so FBI FC taking on Rick and Marty. So this is the game I'm looking forward to the most. This game I will be scorekeeping this. This is at noon at Loyola again on Sunday, Field 1. Two big time teams, a lot of weapons on both sides. 7-1, Rick and Marty comes into that matchup. FBIFC, of course, on the other end of that ledger, they're coming in at 4-3. So FBIFC actually lost a big game to the Ball Hawks. A bit surprising. Shout out to Richie Mondesir, a buddy of mine, former teammate. They had an upset victory over FBIFC, but again, FBIFC looking to bounce back now. A big game again, like I said, against Rick and Marty. So make sure if you have a chance, come with Loyola and watch that. It's going to be a lot of plays, a couple of deep shots, some intermediate passes. But what I think these teams work at best is kind of taking those short to intermediate passes and then getting yak yards after the catch. Or if you're a fan of yak yards, I know Joe Maheu was saying he's a Washington Commanders fan. Debo Samuel, the king of yak yards. So this game here again, FBIFC, Rick and Marty, it's going to be a lot of yak yards. We close out Sunday with Snowden Deli Deegans taking on Bullseye and the Veer Lynx taking on Nutter Run. That'll be the final game. Again, Veer Lynx against Nutter Run. That'll be in Laval, 8 p.m. this coming Sunday. So a lot of big games coming up. Look, taking a little sneak peek though to week 10, right? So we have the early games. So before we do our next podcast, actually 4 games next Tuesday. So before we do our next podcast, we'll have seen Rick and Marty against Born Ready. Had a chance to watch Born Ready actually last night in Broussard. I score kept their game. Born Ready took on the 1 and 9ers. So that, I hadn't seen again. There's a zillion teams in FPF. I try to see as many as I can. Born Ready. So I was really impressed with their squad. They had some athletes. They have some real athletes. A lot of brothers who are long and make some plays. Adrian Redmond's one of those guys. Nobody of mine, Bobby Sapencha. So I don't know if he came last night to the game. He didn't play. He came a few minutes later. I want to say 10 minutes into the contest. Kind of sat on the bench. He got the game played. I made sure he gave him the game played. But this is a lot of athleticism on the squad. Chris Williams, big number 5, kind of operates in that he plays a bit of corner. He plays kind of that tight end slash deep receiver. A couple of deep shots go his way. He may drop one or two, but he does have he has a lot of speed. And when he gets his hands on the ball, he usually makes a play. Dan Dix, your snapper, a veteran player. I like what I saw out of him. There's a guy, Jason Noel, number 18, a big guy over the middle as well. Kyle Tyrell, I call his name a lot over the years. They have Shaquille Daguilar. Daguilar, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's athletic, man. This dude is athletic. Again, I like what I saw out of this team. I'm looking at their record right now. So they're 3-6, right? So they finish again. So the last game of the season actually is against Rick and Marty. So again, that's coming up, like I said, this coming Tuesday. It'll be at 9:15 in Brassard. So I'll be there. I won't be scorekeeping that game, but I'll be in the building. So I'll try and sneak a peek as often as I can of that contest. But again, a really long athletic team, born ready. I like what I saw. I mean, record wise, again, they're 3-6. So it's not as if they're blazing up the ladder there. But I mean, again, the team is able to make some plays and they're able to get their hands on a lot of balls, both offensively and defensively. So I mean, you got to like that. They're hanging on right now to the last playoff spot. So 20 teams make the playoffs. So 26 in total. 20 teams make the playoffs in Division D. They're up with 6 points. So they're 2 up on Bullseye and the Brewers. So Bullseye and the Brewers are 4 points each. Born Ready again in 20th place. They're actually tied with Nut and Run in terms of points. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out in Division D. Again, just taking a quick look at some of the other games in Division D again that will be taking place before the next time we're on air. We have Still in Short taking on Glow Gain. That should be a good one. Nothing running the Brewers. So just mention those two teams, right? They're within a game of each other, within 2 points of each other. So I think whoever loses that game, well, the Brewers pretty much need to win that game to keep their playoff hopes alive. Pardon me. Nothing Run needs that to kind of pull up a little bit ahead of Born Ready if Born Ready does not knock off Rick and Marty. So that's a big game. And we have the Studs taking on Rum and Coke. So again, Rum and Coke, one of the top teams in Division D, again taking on the Studs. So that should be a good game. So I'm really looking forward to a lot of these games coming up here in Division D. Let's switch over quickly now to Division E here to see what we have on tap. And again, everything is fluid here. Again, this is the, like I said to Joe, right? This is the home stretch of the regular season. So teams are battling and jostling for those last couple playoff spots. Teams that are a little higher up are trying to reach the top of the division. Some teams obviously get a first round bye, others don't. You obviously want to get the highest seed you can. Ideally, at least on paper, you're playing the weaker opponent. But again, you have to go onto the field and actually prove it, right? Anything can happen. We've seen upsets all the time. So, like I said last night, we saw Speed Academy knock off Le Petit Carrot. So there was an upset in and of itself, right? So, again, sticking with Division E here. So a couple games that have taken place already this week. TD Blitz dropping a game to Ben Don't Break 32-24. So Ben Don't Break with the W. Richter, team I've score kept a lot the last couple of weeks. I had a chance to catch them last night. They were in Broussard. They knocked off Blue Mountain State 33-18. I like what I'm seeing out of Richter. Jeremy Steinberg, I believe, is a quarterback. I'm liking what I've seen out of him. He's athletic as heck. Yeah, Jeremy Steinberg. He can run with the ball. He has a nice arm. He's pretty accurate over the middle. He likes to take a couple of deep shots here and there, but he's also not afraid to check it down, like to a snapper, Scott Binns. There's Daniel Levitsky as well. I came away kind of impressed with him. Jason Rudy. Playmaker, obviously Nick DeMalo, so he usually plays in higher division. So I guess this is a team with a bunch of his buddies. He makes plays all over the field for the squad. So again, a big W last night over Blue Mountain State. It was 27-18 at the half, and then both teams kind of fell asleep offensively in the second half. Richter outscoring Blue Mountain State 6-0. So I mean, one team pitched a shutout in the second half. The other team almost got shut out, but a win's a win. Doesn't matter how you get it. So congrats to Richter with the victory over Blue Mountain State. Just looking again here. So yeah, so that's one game and a half. And we have Bemba don't break. So 2 games, 2 nights, 2 games. So again, I talked about Monday. They beat TD Blitz. They knocked off in a game that wasn't as close as a 32-24 victory over TD Blitz. Ben Don't Break blew out Northvolt by a score of 41-19. So that was kind of an ugly game last night. And in Brassard, I had a chance to see Northvolt. They were warming up a bit actually on the wrong field, but they were warming up nonetheless. Like maybe they could have warmed up a bit more. Luke Moreau, 6 TD passes in the game. He threw 3 TD passes to Ryan Quinzel. So great effort by them. So Justin Hua and the boys there from Norfolk, they'll have to kind of get their act together right now. So that loss, again, 41-19, that drops them to 1-6, right? So it's getting late for those guys if they want to have any chance of making maybe not even a playoff run, but just having some positivity towards the end of the season, right? They take on Chapeau Perdue. That's just pretty funny. I like that name. So Lost Hat, they're taking them on this coming Thursday. So tomorrow night, we're filming this on a Wednesday. Then they have Gold Rush, one of the top teams in this division. That'll be next Tuesday. And then the Tuesday after that, July 29th, that will be their final game of the season. They take on Norfolk. So best of luck to the boys. Pardon me, Sweet Bonanza. Sorry. Norfolk takes on Sweet Bonanza. So best of luck to Norfolk. Again, as they try to stack a couple wins before the regular season comes to an end. Just looking at the rest of the schedule here for this division. So again, Division E here. So those are all the games that have taken place already. Tomorrow night, a ton of games. Norfolk again, like I said, against Chapeau Perdue. Armed Robberies. This is a team I saw the other day. Came away like, all right, a little bit impressed. They have some playmakers. They're taking on Gold Rush. So that should be a good game. That again, that's coming up Thursday in Laval. So by the time this comes out, maybe that game will be maybe the day before or maybe 2 days before. But again, if you have a chance, watch that game. We have Reborn Prospects against Emperors Retraite. That'll be Thursday in Laval. That should be a really good game. 2 high-flying teams, 2 teams, pardon me, with a lot of guys that have played tackle before, and a lot of guys who like to throw the ball deep and make plays deep. So that should be an interesting game. Friday, we have the Flag Dealers against Sourpuss and Sweet Bonanza against Blue Mountain State. So that'll wrap up the Friday games. Only one game though Sundays. Pardon me, Saturday. Saturday Studs 2 against Ayers University. That's going to be at Loyola, 10 a.m. this coming Saturday. Sunday, a plethora of games. And counting right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games coming up on Sunday. It kicks off with Sourpuss and Emperor's Rechete. Again, that's going to be at Connu. We're going to have Chapeau Perdue against Takeoff Squad, Pack a Punch, Flag Dealers, Air University, Reborn Prospects. And we also have Texas Wales taking on the Demons. I'm looking forward to that game. So a couple buddies play on the Demons in that. Texas Wales. At this point, I want to say both are kind of veteran teams. That should be a interesting game. 2 teams that have no problem airing the ball out. Should be physical as well. So I like to see a little bit of that. Those wrap up the games at Connu. Sunday evening in Laval, 5 p.m. We have Unicorns against Chomedy Chol, so that should be a must-watch game. And then the final game of Week 9, Unseen taking on Head Tops Only. That's going to be at Laval this Sunday at 10 p.m. So a late game affair to wrap up Week 9. Let's hop over to Division F here. So about the final 5 to 10 minutes of this podcast here. So again, like I said, we're hopping over to Division F. So what does Division F have in store for us this week? Let's check it out. So a couple of games on the agenda here for week 9. So they start Thursday night, PSTM, first place team taking on the Gamblers. So that should be a good game. We have the Rosemare Rhino Pills taking on the Dolphins. Make football great again. Trying to make football great again and get a W. They're taking on the Jamaican bobsled team, and we have Maggots taking on First Down Sniffers. So that those would be some interesting games coming up here. I know last week, so a couple of things. So week 8, we saw all the favorites winning and winning big in week 8. So PSTM knocking off Make Football Great Again. First Down Sniffers beating Rosemary and Rhino Pills. The Dolphins knocking off Vengeance, and then the Gamblers knocking off Under Overachiever. So all those games were one-sided, to be honest with you. The closest game of those games in total, I want to say, looking at it right here, I believe it was PSTM beating Make Football Great Again by a score of 22-8. That was pretty much the closest game of Week 8. So, like I said, a lot of big games coming up week 9. Like I said, PSTM and the Gamblers. So that's 6-2 PSTM taking on the 5-3 Gamblers. Dolphins at 6-1 right now, taking on the 4-3 Rosemary and Rhino Pills. First Down Sniffers 5-3, Maggots 5-3. So who's gonna win in the battle of 5-3s? And then obviously Jamaican Bobsled team. Right now they're taking on, like I said, Make Football Great Again. Make Football Great Again 0-9 right now. So this is I believe it's their last chance to get a W here. Just double checking to make sure I got the schedule right here. Make Football Great Again. Yeah, that's their last game of the season. So this is it for Make Football Great Again. Gentlemen, I'm pulling for you guys. I think Jamaican Bobsled team, but gentlemen, for Make Football Great Again, I'm pulling for you guys. I've been part of winless teams before. My first couple years in FPF, it is no fun at all. A lot of learning comes from it, but you don't want to be that 0-10 team. So Make Football Great Again. Let's see what you guys can do. Let's come out and get a W. Their offense is struggling a little bit right now. They have a chance hopefully to come out and at least go with a bang to end the regular season. And that game will be Sunday afternoon at Loyola. So I'll be around to check that game out. So I'm pulling for you guys. Don't want to see you guys go 0-10. All right. So we did women's A. Pardon me. So we did women's A. We did women's B. We did women's C here. All the men's divisions are covered. So all the 5-on-5 is covered. So what we're gonna do now? So we're gonna go to some of the votes. So I posed a couple of questions earlier this week, right, on Facebook. So I want to get some of the results here. So let me get to the questions here. So one of the questions I posted was again on the Facebook group. Yeah. So should we get rid of the first round bye? So I know not every division, because some divisions there's no first round bye, but there are a couple that do have the first round bye. And so I want to say from all the people that voted, it was a resounding 76% voted no. They should keep the first round bye. They do not want to get rid of the first round bye. 23% voted yes, we should get rid of the first round bye. I know. So I got this crazy question because Quasi brought it up last week when talking about one of the divisions and getting rid of the first round bye. I'm in favor of having it for the only reason that players get banged up. Well, two reasons. Players get banged up. So I know, listen, if you're banged up, you want to have that extra week off to kind of rest yourself. Sometimes people just want to practice, right? Get an extra practice in and that. And it's a good time to kind of be like, okay, this is working, this is not working. Let's try some new plays. Let's get some stuff together. It's hard to do that when you come just a couple hours before a game or a couple minutes in some cases before a game. And also, I think, you know what? You've earned it. If you finish in one of the top 2 or top 4 seeds in most cases, you get that first round bye, you've earned it. So why not? So being rewarded for what you've done in a regular season and getting to rest up some injured bodies, why not? I'm in favor of having the first round bye. I know the argument is, oh, some people get rusty, and it's true. Having that week off does throw off the chemistry, does throw off the rhythm a little bit of some teams, but if you're that good, a week off shouldn't really matter that much. Anyways, I'm just saying, this is my opinion. Thank you to everyone that voted on that one. Okay, so Ali Rez is telling me in my ear, so kind of the same thing, like 71% no in favor of getting rid of the first round bye, 29% favor getting rid of it. So again, on Facebook and Instagram, the majority of people do not want to get rid of the first round bye. Again, I fully agree with that. That has my support. Thank you again to everyone who voted on Facebook and Instagram for that question. Another one I came up with, again, this is some of the based off the conversations that Quasi and I had last week. So do you think that every team in a division should make the playoffs? So again, Quasi had brought that up last week. He had a bit of a gripe with that because there's certain divisions in FPF where every team does make the playoffs. I'm going to tell you right now. So I posted this question to Facebook. 100% no. There wasn't even a single yes vote. And, and on Instagram, 12% of people said yes. They like divisions where every team makes the playoffs, and then 88% of people said no. Yeah, I guess so. Again, the question to do you think every team in the division should make the playoffs? Both Instagram and Facebook say no, not every team should make the playoffs. I understand Quasi's point, like he was saying about You kind of lose some of the competitive juices when everyone makes it and whatever. And I agree with that. I believe I said this on the podcast. I do agree with that. I can though see the flip side, especially like if you look at those new divisions, right? Like you look at, let's say, women's C, right? So you look at women's C right now. I'm gonna give you the standings right here. There's four teams, right? Turf Titans 6-2, Cavaliers 5-2, She Sparks again on the way up 3-4, and Humble 1-7. So congrats to Humble. Obviously, they're not gonna end winless. So yeah, all four teams are gonna make the playoffs. So I mean, that is what it is. You don't want to have a two-team playoff because that's lame. I mean, okay, so you have the Turf Titans and Cavaliers, two of the teams who you have to imagine if things end up going how most people would assume are going to be in the finals against each other. But you don't want to have like a one-team playoff where they play against each other and that's it. I mentioned on the Facebook poll, what other scenarios would you then like to see instead of having if you're not in favor of having every team make the playoffs? I know in the past in FPF we used to have this kind of thing where it kind of be like a bit of not a, I guess you could say a crossover, right? Maybe you could have, let's say, if you're the last place teams from Division B, probably for Women's B, for example. So let me hop over to it quickly here. Just want to get the standings in front of me so I could get the teams correct here. So if you're in women's B, right, and you realize, okay, listen, it's been a tough season, whatever the case may be, for whatever reason. So I'm looking at it right here. So the last place teams are so Les ETS Turgeon. So Les ETS Turgeon and Dream Killers. Bit surprised, Dream Killers again. I think they're a solid team. So maybe then what you want to have, perhaps I'm just saying, is maybe you can maybe have a final between the top two teams in Women's C, like I said, Turf Titans and Cavaliers, and then you could have, let's say, or you could have them go to Women's B to compete in the playoffs, perhaps. And maybe you have Dream Killers and Les ETS Turgeon drop down to Division C. They're the two last place teams in Division B. Maybe you have them go to Division C and take on She Sparks and Humble, or maybe they take on the Turf Titans and Cavaliers. And now, of course, I'm not an idiot. I know what you're saying. Well, if they're in Division B and they're finishing, last, they're gonna smoke Division C. Doesn't always work that way. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it does. Normally it does, but it doesn't always work that way. I'm just saying again. I just wanted to kind of get feedback from you guys at home. What would you like to see instead of having those divisions? Very few of them in FPF, but there are still those divisions where every team makes the playoffs. I think specifically though in Women's C against the first year we're having Women's C, I think it does make sense to have every team make the playoff. You want to promote the game. Sorry, Ali? Okay. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Okay, so Ali Rez is telling me in my ear. One of the people that voted said this is not the NFL. This is a recreational football league, well, fly plus football, obviously, where people are paying to play, so people should not be excluded from the playoffs. So that's an interesting take. That's actually an interesting take. I mean, again, I agree. We're all paying to play, but I will tell you that. But my stance on that is the playoffs are like the extra. Playoffs are what we're all playing for, but technically you're only paying for the 10 regular season games, right? It is what it is. So please don't get it twisted. Hence why not every team makes the playoffs, right? You're paying for those 10 regular season games for your right to play, the officials, people like myself, the podcast. You guys are paying for that, so on and so forth, the articles and all that great stuff. The playoffs are something that is earned. So I mean, I don't know. I think maybe if you're not as good, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. It's up to debate. I'm gonna post another question based off that answer. So thank you to the person that responded. Ali Reza, what's his name again? Simone de Perot is what I'm being told. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, all right, fair enough. All right, hopefully your name's not being. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I see here right here actually. Yeah, yeah. It says Simone de Perron. Simone de Perron. So thank you for Simone for answering. I read a bit of his response the other day. He's like, I think the actual success or lack of a team should have an impact on the individual ratings, not only the stats and the division you play in. Okay, that's actually responding to another question. Actually, so this is an interesting question. So, pardon me, his response is the same guy, but his response is to another question. I'll say it quickly before we sign off. The question was posted to the FPF community this week. What does everybody think about a draft division or having multiple draft divisions? So I know in the KTFL, in a 35 plus league, for example, that happens usually in the winter. They have teams that are all drafted in that. So I want to know what do you guys think? Do you think maybe we should have this here on a regular basis in FPF, where maybe there's one division that's all this guys that are drafted to certain teams? I think that's cool. I mean, pros and cons like anything else in life. I mean, obviously, guys that know certain players are going to draft who they know first, and maybe there's going to be some other players who I don't really know them. They're going to be left out on the lurch or having to join whatever team. But that's the same thing about the free agency, right? When we have the combine this past year and last year, the guys they feel this Claremont guy on my team as well, Will Gillespie. You always find those diamonds in the rough. You find a lot of good players sometimes in those free agent camps, and just because they don't really know as many players in FPF doesn't mean they can't play. And it's on you as a team builder, a captain, whatever, to kind of build your team and figure it out. But to answer this question, yeah, I do think maybe we should have a division where we have like it's an all drafted division, so that way people can play with different people and it can be kind of fun. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for this week. Once again, thank you to Joe Maheu. So I apologize. I think I said I said we're gonna have a Hall of Famer on the show, and then I realized I looked at the stats. I had thought he was a Hall of Famer for sure. My apologies to Joe. He should be in the Hall of Fame. So Jeff, that's on you. Get Joe Maheu in the Hall of Fame. I'm in the Hall of Fame, so if I'm in the Hall of Fame, he should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. I just want to thank you guys, of course, for tuning in. Thank you to the main man, Ali Reza, for holding things down and giving me the information in my ear, and obviously connecting Joe and everything else that Ali Reza does. He's super awesome as always. Quasi will be back next week. So, Quasi, hopefully everything's going all right. Everything is cool. Once again, thank you for tuning in. This is Brent Bodkin, the latest episode of Fly Plus Football's 514 show. We will have some special guests for you coming on next week and a ton of new content. Get outside. I know it's a bit of a heat wave, but get outside. Enjoy the summer. I was at Wu Tang this past Sunday at Place Bell. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Woo's for the kids. It's for flag football too. I'll see you later. Have a good one.